I can no longer hide from my past actions. The weight of my decisions presses on my chest, each moment a reminder of the choices I made and the people they affected. Today, I stand here admitting my wrongs, not because it's easy, but because it's the first step toward facing myself and the world. My thoughts are tangled, and the feelings within me are heavy, but I know that owning up is the only way to rebuild what's broken. There comes a time when silence no longer serves the soul, when the truth must come to light, no matter how painful it may be. The guilt, the shame, the regret, they've haunted me for too long. I admit to the crimes I've committed, and though the weight of it all threatens to crush me, I know that this confession is my path to redemption. My heart is torn, but my conscience is finally free. Admitting to the crimes I committed feels like a storm raging inside me. There's anger, there is shame, but most of all, there's sorrow. Sorrow for the pain I caused, for the trust I shattered. But in this moment of truth, I realize that facing my mistakes is the only way forward. I can't change the past, but I can start to heal my present and shape my future. I stand before you now, a person no longer afraid to face the mirror. The crimes I committed echo in my mind, their consequences rippling out to everyone I touched. But in this moment of reflection, I am no longer a prisoner to my past. Admitting my wrongs, feeling the weight of them, is the first step toward reconciliation, not just with others, but with myself. I've lived with the burden of my actions for far too long, a weight that has only grown heavier with time. Admitting the crimes I've done isn't easy, but it's the only way to free myself from this cycle of guilt and regret. My thoughts are clouded with what ifs and could haves, but in this moment, I know one thing for certain. The truth, however painful, will set me on the path to healing. To confess is to be vulnerable. To admit to the crimes I've committed is to strip away the facade I've spent years building. It's not easy and it's not painless. But in my heart, I feel a flicker of hope, knowing that by facing the truth, I can begin to mend the pieces of my soul that I broke long ago. There is no escaping the consequences of my actions. I've spent too long trying to outrun the past, but today I stop. I admit to my crimes, to the mistakes, to the moments I wish I could undo. My heart is heavy with regret, but my spirit is finally beginning to understand that accepting my wrongs is the only way to heal and move forward. The truth has a way of finding its way to the surface, no matter how deeply you try to bury it. I have done things I can never take back, and today I own them. The weight of my guilt is crushing, but I know that only by admitting to the crimes I've committed, can I hope to rebuild what I've destroyed within myself. In admitting to the crimes I've done, I find myself standing at the crossroads of pain and growth. My heart aches as I recall the damage I've caused, but I also sense a sliver of hope emerging from the depths of my soul. By acknowledging my wrongs, I am taking the first step toward redemption, even if that path is long and fraught with uncertainty. I've spent years running from the truth, hiding behind excuses and half-truths, but today I face the reality of my actions, and it's not easy. Admitting to the crimes I've committed is a heavy burden to bear, but in this moment, I know it's the only way to find peace with myself and those I've hurt. The darkness of my past weighs on me, a constant reminder of the mistakes I made. To admit to those crimes is to step into the light of truth, no matter how blinding it may be. I've hurt people, betrayed their trust, and broken things that can never be fully repaired. But in owning up to it all, I finally see a glimmer of hope for the future. Confession is not a path to absolution. It's a path to understanding. When I admit to the crimes I've committed, I don't expect forgiveness. But in facing the reality of my actions, I find clarity, and with clarity comes the possibility of change. My heart is heavy with regret, but my soul feels lighter for the truth. The truth has a way of haunting you, no matter how far you run from it. Today, I choose to face it. I admit to the crimes I've committed, to the hurt I've caused, and to the consequences that follow. My mind is in turmoil, my heart heavy, but I know that the first step toward healing is owning the wrongs I've done. Admitting my wrongs isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. I've done things I regret, and I've hurt people I care about. But in this moment, I stand before you, no longer hiding behind my shame. I acknowledge the crimes I've committed, and while the weight of it all is overwhelming, I know that this is the beginning of my redemption. Every action has a ripple effect, and the crimes I've committed have caused waves I can never undo. But today, I stand firm in my truth. I admit to what I've done, not because I think it will make it all right, but because only in facing the full weight of my actions can I begin to move forward and heal. The guilt has been eating away at me for years, a constant reminder of the wrongs I've done. But no more. Today, I admit to my crimes, to the things I wish I could change, but no, I can't. My thoughts are full of remorse, but I finally understand that owning my mistakes is the only way to break free from the chains of my past. There is no redemption without confession. I've lived with the weight of my crimes for far too long, trying to numb the pain with distractions. But now I stand here unmasked, admitting to the wrongs I've done. The journey ahead is uncertain, but in this moment of truth, I know I'm taking the first step toward real change. Admitting to my crimes feels like standing naked before the world. There's no hiding, no more pretending that I'm something I'm not. The truth is raw, painful, and unforgiving, but it's the only path to peace. I can't undo the damage I've done, but I can begin to heal by facing it head on. The darkness of my past is something I can't escape, but I've come to realize that I don't need to. By admitting to my crimes, I take control of my narrative. I can't change the past, but I can choose how I move forward. The road ahead is uncertain, but at least I'll walk it with honesty. I've been haunted by the shadows of my actions for too long. Admitting to the crimes I've committed feels like stepping into the light, painful and blinding, but necessary. My heart aches with regret, but I know that the truth will eventually set me free, even if it means facing the consequences of what I've done. There is no greater courage than facing the truth about oneself. I have done things I am not proud of, and today I admit to my crimes. My thoughts are heavy with the memories of my wrongs, but I know that only by acknowledging them can I begin to heal and find a path forward. The regret I feel for my actions is overwhelming, a constant companion that I cannot escape. But today, I choose to face it. I admit to the crimes I've committed, and though the weight of my guilt is crushing, I know that this is the first step toward healing and redemption. Admitting my wrongs isn't a way to escape the pain I've caused. It's a way to confront it. My actions have had lasting consequences, and I can't undo them. But by owning up to the crimes I've committed, I give myself the chance to begin again, to rebuild what was broken, and to seek forgiveness, not from others, but from myself. I used to believe that burying my guilt was the way to move on, but the truth always finds a way to resurface. Today, I admit to the crimes I've done, and it feels like a weight has been lifted. The path ahead is uncertain, but in this moment, I am free to rebuild, to grow, and to learn from the mistakes that brought me here.